have you, like, how would you measure it? Or is that not a good rule of thumb to use?
You mean for determining whether there's an infringement on an
Yeah.
original piece
Yeah.
of there's, that's a helpful factor, but it's only one of multiple factors. It's not always the amount of the content that was appropriated, but it could be the part of the content. You could take 20% of somebody else's work and either have it be the most significant 20% of that work be the heart of the work, or have it be, the marginal part of the work. And so for that reason, when a court analyzes an infringement claim, it's looking at multiple factors. How much did you take? Was it the core of what was taken? Will it impact the market for the original work? Which is one of the reasons why copyright law exists, to protect the economic rights of creators. And there are a host of other factors, which the court will all weigh. They'll weigh them all, not any one in front. I can tell you that, losing the ability to monetize your own creation is something that would be very persuasive in situations like this. So, but you got to prove the access, and you have to prove the substantial similarity of the output. And most creators don't have the financial means and wherewithal to go through that forensic process.
Do you think this is going to be a tort? Or you think this is going to be?
Well, it is a tort. I mean, copyright infringement is a tort of a type, if you will. But I think do I think there'll be a specific cause of action? I think we're a long way from that happening. I like to always say that, technology always leads. Business, puts on its jogging shoes and runs after it, sometimes fast, sometimes not as fast. And then the law follows behind with push brooms and sweeps up the mess that gets left behind. And so the law is always going to trail the realities that businesses face adapting the technology. So I think it's going to be a while before we are going to see any meaningful progress on creator rights. There are lawsuits. I have personal friends who are part of the Anthropic suit right now because they're authors and their works were imported without permission into Anthropic's engines. And so, but it's going to take a while for creators to actually realize, being compensated for these kinds of things.
So Sharon, one of the other things that comes to mind is we had a client probably 24 months ago, roughly in that range, and they're a big company, publicly traded, and essentially they were still getting comfortable with AI. They were actually not comfortable with AI, and they were using a certain tool to determine if there was any AI written in the article. And basically we were submitting articles that were done by a human writer. And this was, it was pretty nascent as far as like heavy usage. But it kept coming back like 85% to 95% human writing. And they were rejected. They're like, no, this is AI written. And it made me think of like the study that came out with like the Bible. And it was like, oh, the Bible had written this much AI. The reason AI, these readers are determining that if it's AI because it's based on human writing. Like there's certain kind of tells or giveaways of how content's structured, but it was like, we couldn't get the thing to not say that there wasn't a certain percentage of AI writing because it was based on human writing. And we kept getting content rejected. And it's just the complete opposite end of what we're talking about now.
Right.
But it was a really interesting kind of thing that we were trying to tackle. And then I'm taking this ethics and compliance AI course from Oxford. And I asked the same question. I said, can these AI detection devices, like how accurate are they? And he basically said with deep fakes and everything that's coming online, it's almost impossible to tell the difference. As it gets better,